Basta all hits, all Pinoy. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio. 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 VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Our Almighty God, Creator of heaven and earth, Father and lover of our soul, you sit on your throne of mercy and rule with your love and faithfulness. You are full of grace. We acknowledge your presence in our lives. Nothing is hidden in your eyes, even our challenges and struggles in life. We come to you with faith. We ask not only for our daily spiritual bread, but to seek your forgiveness and undeserving favor to heal our land, our family members, our friends and neighbors, even our enemies with COVID-19 and other diseases. Holy Spirit, help us to deepen our faith and see the opportunity to believe, obey, and worship. As we face this pandemic, you are Lord and God. Encourage us and change our hearts, not to fear, but to be full of hope and find ourselves praying and meditating your word. We believe no works of the enemy prosper to your children. Abba, Father, we believe that your Son Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. He is the truth and our salvation. Hear our prayers, O Lord, and most of all, not our will, but thy will be done. We pray this in Jesus' name, the name above all names, who was and is to come. Amen.
Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kanta at programang Tatak Pinoy. Napapanood at napapakinggan kahit saan ka man. Streaming worldwide. In South Manila, this is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Dahil mahal namin kayo.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio. Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan, kahit nasaan ka man ito'y mapapakinggan. Oh,
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Dahil mahal namin kayo.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
VA1 Radio.
Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko.
VA1 Radio.
Dahil mahal namin kayo.
VA1 Radio, VA1 Radio.
Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station. We now bring you the program that brings together leading personalities, representative insights, all together in a meaningful and delightful conversations as your social barometer. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Hosted by Breakthrough Millennial Boomer Gracie Venezuela. Only here on V81 Radio.
Hi, everyone. It's 6 o'clock once again, and what better way to spend your Sunday night than joining me here tonight in our little cozy room, and let's have a chat with a very interesting personality who has been gracing the stages here and abroad with his wonderful performances. Now, this actor has been in the arts and culture scene in Manila and in some parts of the world for some time now, but when the pandemic began, he became one of the early adapters in creating his own niche in the digital space. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jake Macapagal.
Jake, welcome to Let's Chat with Tita Gracie.
Hi, Jake. Welcome.
Yeah. Is my mic muted or not?
No, you're
Oh, it's
okay.
not okay. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. It's very strange that I'm actually on this side of the guest of the screen where I am the guest, because I think, as you have explained earlier, that I sort of like adapted right away when I had nothing to do. I found myself in the digital world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's true that many people, because of the pandemic, especially our colleagues in the arts and culture sector, have taken to the digital front, because there were efforts to fundraise, and they started performing in their own homes, giving entertainment and some hours of relaxation to the people who have been holed up in their houses with all the anxiety and the stress of the pandemic. But I think that you are one of the early adopters, like I said, who has transformed yourself and taken that boldly into the digital space. So I know the question might seem redundant, but how have you adapted? I mean, what happened when the pandemic started? Where were you? And what made you decide to start your own live stream?
Yeah, I think I sort of adapted to this. I think as I got older, I was already creating or nesting into a hermit life. I kind of like that. The more I've spent time with myself, the more I sort of like gotten to know and be comfortable in my own skin. So I knew right away, even though I will be locked down or if I'm clamped, that I will be able to find something that's creative. So before the pandemic, I was already taking a lot of mindfulness, let's say mindfulness courses, and I was already teaching yoga for about a year. I was locked I was sort of like in quarantine with my partner in Houston for 8 months because he was going through chemotherapy and I was also there. So what our schedule was coming from home, from the flat, from the apartment, and walking towards the chemo in MD Anderson in Houston. So that was a whole almost like a year of being in sort of like quarantine. So when the pandemic came here, it didn't really frazzle me. It I was comfortable being alone with my partner, and we know
Yes,
we're gonna find ways to make the home comfortable and creative for me. And
right.
since that was already the dawn of like I'm getting more comfortable with the digital or this, I've actually been retracted myself from social media, but I know that I can get back into it. But I chose my business page instead of my profile page on Facebook. So when I said I'm going to create a community on my Facebook page, I said I can make this exciting and I'm going to start putting my face on and start doing like a vlog of some sort. But
Yes,
I know that I wasn't really comfortable just blabbing away about myself and what I feel or what I eat. So I said
yeah,
the best way for me to do is actually have a guest, because if I highlight a person, the attention goes to the guest and it's not about me. So I have the confidence to talk about the person because I'm not selling myself. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. And of course,
yeah,
the challenges are obviously because you're going to make mistakes,
yeah,
grammatical mistakes and technical mistakes. So I joined. What I did was I joined an academy, a boot camp, to learn all the technicalities. So I learned from other 200 students, along with 200 students, and we were putting ourselves live on a closed group every single day. I guess that will make you get, you realize and you compare. And I think I realized in between that, oh, I can do better than that. In my
yes,
mind, I
yes. So
said, if I don't know the
it's all part of
technicalities,
the confidence building and when your decision to enter or to start a digital project, a live stream project, you somehow have a method. It looks like unconsciously you had a method, you enrolled in a course, and you committed to it, and learn the ropes and make the mistakes and strengthen your confidence. And I'm hearing all of this, and all the more I'm intrigued because not just because I know you as an actor and all that, but about how you have grown and decided, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna find a spot in my home and commit to it. And it's no joke to do a live stream every day from Monday to Friday. It is actually quite tedious, but I think what makes you interesting, and I've been watching your live stream for about a month now, is that there's an ease, there's a sort of a naturalness which is quite attractive for I found it quite engaging. And although I know you as an actor, and we've seen each other in parties and in the social circle for quite some time now, although I'm no longer in that scene, but having seen you in a different light, I told myself, you know what? I think I'm going to dedicate one episode just to find out, just to get to know you more, and at the same time, since my show is about arts and culture and the lifestyle scene in Metro Manila, I think my audience will be very interested to know more about you, and I'd like them to follow your show as well, not just here in the Philippines, but yeah, as you know, we broadcast in other countries as well. Because friends out there, Jake hosts a daily, like a Monday to Friday live stream. And later on, we're going to go into that in greater detail because we're just touching the surface of the tip of the iceberg with this icebreaker segment. But you are an actor, right? You've trained for the stage, right?
Yeah, very early on, probably in Ateneo Children's Theater, when I first saw my first play, and I said it was Bernardo Carpio, and I said when I experienced it, I said I want to be. That's the world I'm going to be at, and I think I was very focused. I know that that's the only thing. It's a I can play around. I don't necessarily have to live my own life. As a kid, I had a huge imagination, so I knew that I was going to be a part of, that whole industry. But I didn't know it was going to be a kind of profession for me. I just know that I enjoy being on stage. I enjoy performing. I enjoy singing. I like the camaraderie. I like the whole bit on and off stage. So I've been doing theater for almost maybe, oh my God, 35 or 40 years maybe. And this whole bit, but I've been sort of like very private as well as I gotten older. But this new medium is just, I don't know, it gets me up in the morning, Gracie, right?
Right.
It gets me up in the morning. Whatever gets me up in the morning, like a boost of dopamine, because I just want to jump into it and just express myself. It's very addicting, as you know.
Yes, yes. I share your energy. I am the same. This show is something that has made living under the pandemic, under this atmosphere of illness, and you have to stay at home and quarantine, and it has made it so bearable to actually have a show. And I don't know if you feel the same way too, because it's really it's a boost. It's a boost to your energy levels, and it's inspiring me to do more and to network with people and to create more. And I don't know if it's the same with you, but it's really been an eye opener for me as well, because I started the show only in Easter Sunday. When I signed up for the show in V81. But what's interesting is that you went from the stage to your journey is not a straight journey from the stage to the screen. So many things. And I know that as we get more into this hour and a half of chatting, I'll be able to encourage more from you. But now let's go for our first break. When we come back, friends, we're going to go into a deep dive and find out more about Jake Macapagal's journey as an actor on stage, on screen, and now in the digital space. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Shortly with Tita Gracie. Let's chat with Tita Gracie only here on V81 Radio. Connected ka na ba para laging updated sa mga bagong shows, promos, trending news, viral videos, events, o patok na OPM hits? Just follow us on Facebook at V81 Radio South Manila. Simple lang, itype lang ang letter V81 Radio South Manila. O di ba madali lang? Kaya i-like at i-follow na. Gusto niyo ba ng bagong tracks na mapapakinggan ngayong October?
Pwede bang magpakilala? Is that I better left us walking? Ba't sabi mo hindi mo ko iiwan?
Abangan at tumutok lang tuwing Sunday, 1 p.m. dito sa Napalm, your new all-Pinoy alternative music source. At makijam, kasama sina Ram Martinez, Isotone, Pusa Calle, at City and the Years. Dito lang yan sa Napalm, your new all-Pinoy alternative music source. Exclusively on V81 Radio, South Manila. Kabayan, nahuhomesick ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever. Are you ready to explore a new kind of music? Yung bang kakaiba na hindi mo pa napapakinggan, mga bagong artist? Nagugulat sa inyo sa kanilang awit at tugtugan. Discover them, hear them in Napalm Hour. Ang Napalm ay ang new all-Pinoy alternative music source na para sa kakaibang musika. Alternative artists and bands all the time. Catch them at Napalm Hour. Mondays through Fridays, 12 noon to 1 p.m. and 8 to 9 p.m. Streaming live on V81 Radio mobile app. Kaya i-download mo na for free. Now na! Talagang October to remember dahil hindi din pahuhuli ang ibang Viva OPM artists na sasabak sa kantahan sa Home Not Alone Songs from Home Season 2 kasama si Papa Gio, Yumi Laksamana, Isid, Solstice, Just Rap, and Sabu. Kaya iset nyo na ang mga kalendaryo nyo tuwing Merkules 7pm California time o Huwebes 10am Pinas time at samahan si Papa Gio para makipagkulitan, tawanan at kantahan sa Home Not Alone Songs from Home Season 2. Dito yan sa V81 Radio, Los Angeles. Now back to Let's Chat with Tita Gracie, only here on V81 Radio.
We're back, and tonight we have a very interesting guest. In the person of Jake Macapagal, and I'd like to call him back in the studio right now so that we can continue our deep dive session with the one and only Jake. Now, I know that you started your career in the 80s, and could you tell us something about those early years in theater?
I guess I wanted to be part of a theater company, but I didn't like to be exclusive, so I was trying out I wanted to be part of repertory, but I auditioned and I couldn't get in. I said I wanted to be part of Tanghalan Filipino, all the theater companies that were existing at that time. So I think I was one of those. I never really picked a group. I experienced rep and I experienced Tanghalan Filipino, and then there was the group of Freddy Santos as well. That we sort of, before Trumpets, there was a group that performed that produced First Name at the Rizal Theater, and Joseph the Dreamer before trumpets. And
Yes.
I was going into that, and then I had a sort of like a chance to work with a children's show in Channel 2, which was Atibapa with Isay Alvarez. So that was the time though that I think right after that, I was doing theater. I was doing Les Miserables and um, My Fair Lady. That the audition for Miss Saigon Germany opened up. So if you were in that during that time, if you hear about if you are want to be in theater, you sort of, especially if you're in musical theater, you want to experience how it is to perform on an international stage, right? You
Yes.
wanted to follow the steps of Michael Williams and how they experienced it with Leon, with Bobby Martino, Leia and Monique. All of them experienced that. So I guess as a thespian, I was only thinking, oh, I want to experience that too. I have to audition the second time around or the first. I've never experienced that, but I wanted to audition on the second batch or the third batch or the fourth batch, and an opening
And
came. So that's what
yes.
happened.
So,
I
so
auditioned for.
eventually you eventually you were able to get your break and join the Miss Saigon cast in Europe, right? Was that in Germany?
In Germany. So that was a fantastic time. It was not it wasn't only about the show for me. It was the experience of integrating in new
Yeah.
culture and then a different language and Europe.
Yes, of
It's
course.
very simple. It's
Yes,
Europe.
yes. Because actually, the whole Miss Saigon phenomenon really opened up so many doors for Filipino theater actors, no? And you mentioned their names, Leia, of course,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is like our crowning glory, but not just Leia. As you said, Monique and Michael and Junix, and
Yeah.
I think, and you're part of that crop of Filipinos who began working in the European stage. What was that like coming from, the local scene, and then you
It,
had to make the
I,
European
I
stage?
guess I guess what it is, Gracie, is that the you are a professional, so you're paid. I think that was the wonderful thing about it. You're paid enough that you can afford to have a flat or an apartment in Europe, and you pay taxes and you pay health insurance and stage insurance. And because in Germany it is a socialist,
Yes,
50% of our fee goes to insurance and pension. 50%. But that 50% is still able to get you a flat, and you can rent for a flat. You can rent and lease a flat for years. And it could also provide you with a vacation elsewhere outside Germany. We were paid like doctors.
yes,
That's why
it's
you can
great.
stay. That's why you can stay on with the show for years. And I did
Yes.
stay. Yeah.
And how long did you stay with the Miss Saigon cast in Germany?
I stayed until the end of the run for 5 years. And I think I was explaining to you the other time when we were chatting that, for most people, it was a time for them to get focused in their careers. And for me, it was different. It was for me an experience to live outside the country and really get to know myself. And I
Yeah.
did. I think the best thing for me is really that experience of being outside. Yeah, of
Yes.
living outside. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I know. When I lived away, this was in the late 80s. I lived in California for a while. You just discover so much about yourself, and you have to let go of some, of things, and you become independent, not just in terms of creating your own lifestyle, but having that mindset of carving out a life for yourself and being in Germany. And did you were you already speaking German by the time you left, or did you learn German when you were there?
We learned German 1 and 2 in Goethe Institute, but it's very formal. I think we were able to practice well over a beer. with after the show because we
Yes.
did sing in German, but I think practicing was really outside the show because you have to. Some Germans don't speak English, so you have to be able to get around. I wasn't fluent like most. Couple of people like Leon and Ian Abalia were very efficient, fluent in German, but I could get around with a cab or the bus or if I'm doing my groceries. Conversational, very 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 light, but nothing. I can't be sarcastic in German. I can't be philosophical in German. Not for 5 years. I think you need more
Yeah.
years than that.
Yeah, so those years you were not just discovery years for yourself, and it strengthened your craft as an artist as well. And what do you think it was your biggest takeaway from that whole European experience?
Well, I was trying to explain to you that it was living independently, and I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've gotten to know myself. In Europe, nobody cares if you fail or you succeed. If you fail, people will just go on with their lives, and it's not a big deal. You're not worried about a community that will talk behind your back because I mean, you're totally on your own. But my experience, this was a full cycle. I needed to end that during the millennium, the Y2K in 1999, when I was already craving to go home. So I auditioned for Bobby Garcia's in Atlantis Productions for Rent. And when I experienced doing theater here in Manila again, it was changing. People had very high hopes for the next millennium, and so I did Rent and I did Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and I thought, I think every time I go back to Germany and go through another winter, my winters were becoming more sad because I was very away from my family, and I told myself, if I'm going to be poor in my life, I'd rather be poor in my own country, but not in Germany. Although, of course, even if you don't work in Germany, if you had finished a contract in Germany, you could use the system that the government would pay you for the if you are out of work. But that's not the kind of life that I wanted. I could take advantage of it, and I did take advantage of it for a little bit, but I couldn't. I knew it was time to go home for me, and I did in 2002. Right, right the time that I decided to be back in the Philippines, there was a tour of the United Kingdom to do Miss Saigon in English. So I did that again. I did that again for about a year, and then came back and finally settled. I finally settled. It was a long
Yes.
climb, but I finally settled back, and I said, "This is where I'm gonna be."
And that's around the time I met you. I remember I saw you in Rent, and then I saw you in Hedwig. And I remember it very distinctly because it was in a tiny theater in Makati in PCI Bank Theater, and it was such an intimate venue. And I was sitting in one of the front rows, and the show, of course, is Hedwig and the Angry Inches, a unique rock musical format, and I was floored by your performance, and you played the lead character. And I was telling my companions, who is that guy? I really so interesting. What an interesting actor. And I think that's what started it. And we would come across each other in different parties or in Malate or wherever in
Yeah,
Izon.
yeah.
And, it's a tiny community, but I remember I met you, and then we would have casual conversations and all. But the theater in Manila at that time was so exciting. It was like so many things were happening, and you're right. Aside from when the Miss Saigon actors came back, it was like the whole local theater community was just so energized because there were now production companies that were blossoming left, right, and center, like Bobby with his Atlantis, and then the group of Sila Odi with
Yeah. And then Monique
and
also was there with the New Voice companies. There were so many things that were
right?
happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
New Voice Company, and of course Rep was constantly doing what they do, and AAI and all that. And so you rejoined the company, the local stage scene,
Yeah. Yeah.
his productions, and how was that like working with
It
the
was
group?
it was good. I must say that New Voice, that was the time when New Voice was there, and I was getting to know Monique. Uh, I, I was getting close to Monique and getting to know her not only as a colleague or as Monique Wilson, but I actually, we became very close when she was building. We did a lot of productions together, like Cabaret and
I saw that.
Falsetto
Yeah.
and oh, oh my goodness, and Aspects of Love, and she was finally
Yeah.
was my leading lady, and I thought,
Yeah.
how I can't believe I was watching Monique when she was a kid, and she was the leading lady of Coque Laurel, and then all of a sudden we're doing an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, and I can't believe she's my leading lady. But it sort of like saved me because those experiences were like probably the lowest in my. I think I thought of it was low because of the finances, because I wasn't earning as much, but it was spiritually and very it was enriching my soul to really get to know what I really want. Well, why am I in
Yes.
the theater? Why what I yeah, I guess that's what it is. I've stopped comparing myself to other people, and I said this is really where I want to be, and I have to thank Monique for that.
Yes, yes. I remember that production of Cabaret, and that was I think I saw it several times in Green Hills.
Yes,
Uh,
that's correct.
in Green Hills, and there were some other friends who were
Yeah.
in the production. Lynn Sherman was
Yeah,
in the
Liz
production.
Sherman was there. Jamie Wilson was there.
Of course,
Yeah,
and
yeah. But
of course,
I never forget those times because that was also the time when I started to really really get close to my family, and I started looking at working with independent films and working with young students who were studying or making their thesis in La Salle. And I said, it's very hard for me to get into mainstream. I wasn't really half confident in saying that I want to be in films because when you say you want to be in films, what do you want to be? Do you want to be just a doctor, or do you want to be a leading man or a character actor? I mean, the comparison, I couldn't. It's a very cliquish group in a way because most film actors are come from networks like GMA and ABS-CBN, and if you don't belong there, you don't have the endorsements, and people won't recognize you really. So I started to like enjoy this work or this word called independent or indie actor. And there
yeah,
was Cinemalaya, and there was all these independent young minds who have passion to create films. And I was slowly building up my confidence in building an acting reel to audition or to show to people that, oh, I can act if you pay attention. Or
and I think that there are some people who are already catching that or getting you as an actor. Because the world of indie films has opened up a lot of opportunities for actors.
yeah, yes, definitely. And I do
Yeah, and
I
that's
do
great.
give up I do thank in Cinemalaya for that because the space was like, we don't care what you do or where you come from, you go and audition. And
Yes.
I like that because, oh,
Yeah.
okay, wala palakasan dito, you audition. That's the way, that's the life of an actor. You just have to audition. And we go online. Art Acuña would call me and said, let's audition this, and I was able to work with Lawrence Fajardo, and we did a film together. And this is the life that was very nice. I kind of like the idea of independent Filipino
Yeah.
film.
I appreciate that so much, Jake, because for a couple of years, in 2008, 2009, I was involved with Cinemalaya when I
That's
was
right.
in the marketing department of the cultural center. I've always been in the management or the business side of things, or in marketing, but I had a short stint with the cultural center, and I got involved with Cinemalaya. That was my mandate, not to be part of the marketing team at the time of Nes Hardin when he was president. And indie films, of course, at that time was still in its infancy. But for actors like yourself, it really created a new avenue. And, from there, from the indie films, and then you moved on to like a project like Metro Manila, which I think is one of the most critically acclaimed films over the recent years. And what was that like? I mean, what
I mean, I honestly really this. So that foray was because of the confidence I had that Cinemalaya was creating for independent actors, and I say this with much pride because I knew when I was engaging myself or my time with Cinemalaya, I knew that you didn't have to be that, or you don't have to be a blockbuster actor to be in a film, and I love that. It gave me as an independent actor to say, "Oh, I can do this. I know filmmaking. I understand it. I love the camera." So that confidence propelled me to audition for a visiting British director, and Celine Lopez just rang me and said, "Oh, would you like to have dinner with this director? Na ano daw na may na nominate daw sa Academy in at
yeah,
the Oscars for short film." And I said, it could be like anybody, right? You don't really expect. But when I sat down with him, I was actually offering my services to find Ronnie Lazaro to give him the role, or to somebody who, kasi ang peg sa akin was like saying, oh, we need this. He's a armored car truck driver. He's a security guard. I I I can present myself, but sometimes kasi I'm so used to the system here in the Philippines where uh, hindi ka tipong guard, or hindi ka yata tipong ano, ganito we sort of like stigmatize a look here in the Philippines, but this guy has foreign eyes, so he didn't know my background. He didn't know if I do this or that. He just looked at me and said, "Oh, I want to work with you."
wow,
And he asked me, "Do you want to take the journey with me? We're going to this to Baguio, and I'm giving you the role." I said,
wow,
and I said, "Can I read? Can I audition?" And I was actually casting or helping him cast that's why there's a lot of theater actors there. That's why Ana Abad Santos was there. That's
yes,
why, Gab Santos
JM,
was there and JM were there, because he wanted theater actors. And I said, yes, you don't need a big star to create this film. If you have a good script, you don't need a name star. Believe me. And I was there at the right time at the right place, and that journey took us to BAFTAs, to win in Sundance, to win the British Independent Film, the best independent film of 2013. And what a
wow,
journey it has been, really.
wow,
I can never forget that. But that's 8 years ago too. The life of an actor doesn't end after you get a break. After you get a breakthrough, the grind really starts happening. What are you gonna do next? And I think that's
yes,
the most challenging thing. It's not
right,
after a breakthrough. After the breakthrough, you need to know what your next step is. And it could be really intoxicating. For 8 years, I was following that dream, and then a decade has passed, and all of a sudden, what's next? Well, HBO Asia came, but it took a long time to get to that point too. I guess what I'm just trying to say is that you just have to keep on evolving. You just
yes,
have to look for the next script and evolve into something else. You can't be
right,
stuck in a in an idea, or you have to manage your expectations of how your career can go. Really, I
Yeah.
think that's one thing I've learned. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it's like breakthrough after breakthrough for what what your journey is. You have to keep moving forward, and you have to be out there. You have to be out there meeting people, networking, and you don't know when the next big project is coming, especially now that things are so uncertain.
Yeah.
But there are I think developments for Asian actors, for Filipino actors, because now even the guys in Hollywood and in Europe are looking at this part of the world and saying, you know what? Instead of getting an Asian or an Asian-looking European or someone in the U.S., why don't we go to the Philippines? Why don't we go to Asia? Why don't we get real Asian characters to play real Asian roles? And who knows? I think like you guys prove that it's possible with the Metro Manila film, Metro Manila and the HBO project, and I'm sure that as the years
Yeah.
go on, you will get more casting calls or opportunities because a lot of directors, even homegrown directors, in the indie scene are becoming bolder. What do you think?
Yeah, well, yes, they are both. I want to say that the conversation is on the table. So when there's a dialogue that we need to be inclusive, then you don't need what you discuss is that that we need to find content and
Yeah.
also include other people in the project, but also because of the dialogue is out in Hollywood, people are also opening up that I auditioned. Let me tell you a story that maybe I haven't shared before. But behind after Metro Manila, I've been auditioning for like huge films. It doesn't count. This is just an audition, but the door has opened a little bit. This may be a Tom Cruise film. This may be an Ant-Man or a Marvel film. You get the sides and you audition a self tape. No, this is what you do. You don't need to fly into Hollywood. They give you the script and the sides, and then you self tape, and then you read. And I always think of the roles that they give me that give me a possibility, and I think the role is written for. Well, sadly, it's for a white man. It's not it's not specific that it's going to be a Filipino. The door has opened to include maybe an Asian, but if it's they will ask you a couple of things. Like if you really get into the last days, they need you to change your accent to sound more palatable to the Americans, maybe CNN type when it's very,
Yes.
if you catch a little bit accent, then you have to work on a coach dialect or
Yes.
you know or accent reduction classes.
Right.
But now we have things like Ratched when there is a Filipino character.
Yes.
Filipinos have been there for the longest time in America. So when a writer writes a Filipino role or he's Asian because he will decide this will be a Filipino role, then the doors could be for anybody. It could be from
Right.
homegrown Philippines or Philams, basta Filipino, no?
Yes.
Kasi with the competition for a white role, the it's very, very difficult. But I'm
Yes.
sure there'll be a breakthrough of another kind
I'm
next time.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure. And I think that what's important is that you've not just broken through. You've been in a film that is an award-winning film, and that's great for the resume and for the experience.
Yeah.
And one of the few Filipinos who have, and but I'm glad, and I'm very proud of the crop of Filipino actors that have broken through that glass ceiling. No, we've had a Filipino actor winning in Cannes, a director, Brillante has won in Cannes,
Oh yeah.
and Basta.
Watch out, Gracie, because there's another one that's coming out soon, and I was
Wow.
part of it because I was the casting director along with other people here in the country, with Bianca Balbuena as well as a casting director. But there was a long process of getting this leading lady for a huge can director, and she's currently now in Europe, and she's shooting with a very famous A-lister. And I was there pushing her. I said, "You better audition." And along with my friends, I put a roster or a group of people. I created a group of people who could be right for the role, and I'm so excited that she got it.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic. And
I'm,
and that's great. And you're now a vital part of that community, that network of actors and filmmakers and producers, because
yeah.
the key. Do you have to be part of that network, not just passively waiting for the casting call or
No,
whatever.
I think that's what I've learned. No, I think we can, yeah, we can foray into that because exactly what you're trying to say here is that I think when I started to say, okay, I'm not going to wait around. I'm not going to. I need to do something and be part of that industry. So I started to be a casting director. I started to like. I'm not going to wait for this and this and this and create my show online. This is how it is. You just need to evolve, and you'll be surprised that you can do a lot of things. You
That's
can. You
fantastic. Yeah,
can.
because that taking that proactive step really sets you apart from everybody else. Because, like I said, you're not just passively waiting for opportunities to open. You do other things as you are involved in current projects that will make your network bigger, and creating communities within your sphere of
Yeah.
influence, whether it's among actors or among film directors or among marketing people like myself. Or I think that's the important thing, is at our community of creative professionals are getting, I would say, we're getting a better voice out there. Thank God for live streaming or the internet, because we can now establish our own little piece of
Yeah.
real brand ourselves and create that that you bring value to the table.
Yeah. I think because we've aged. Let me just point that out because yes, the time has come when you don't think that, oh, you don't want to wait. This is the time when you can actually highlight people. That's why I'm always cheering on actors when there's Filipino actors. My first priority will be theater actors because I think they're always under the radar that they're good, and there's a certain thing in the industry that I want to break. Oh, mahal yan kasi taga-teatro lang yan. So ganito ang presyo ng taga-teatro. And I really don't want, I hate that. I really hate that. So pagka-teatro ka, ganito lang ang presyo mo. So yung value mo ganito. That's not true. I
No, that's
I
not.
really I can attest that I can hire and cast any Filipino guy or Filipina girl who's been working in theater, and they can bring anything, everything that that director could ask. They can
Yes,
bring it on.
I'm a big believer in the Filipino talent and
Yeah.
artistry, the depth of our creativity. Ang Pilipino kasi, tayo laki sa crisis, palaging may crisis, palaging may blocks, may hindrances. And I think where we succeed is that if other people try this much and we try harder, we bring more to the table.
Yeah.
Talagang for a lot of us kasi make or break, di ba? Like some actors, oh, I really have to get this role because it will mean supporting my family or
Correct.
sending
Yeah.
me to school. Or I was so touched when you interviewed John Briones, and he, you could feel the deep sense of urgency when he was getting angry and saying, Lord, ano ba talaga to, no? And talagang human dilemma, and it's not just contrived, it's his life. And a lot of Filipino actors are like that and go through that situation. And you can sense that when they begin to act, and it's like this I don't know, this emotional connection. Like John Arcilla, when he
Yeah.
goes in front of a camera or when he's on that stage, huh? You know, you're just riveted to the artistry of that guy.
Yeah. I do admire a lot of Filipino actors and actresses, and I'm at this point where I actually, you know I'm very open in, like, if I've built this connection in the industry outside the country. So when there is an opportunity for them, I push. I feel that I need to pay it forward. Much has been given to me, so paying it forward is really my thing. The whole thing for me to also creating the show online is the way I see it. That's why the title of the show is In Between Rooms. In
Yes.
Between Rooms is, I'm literally in between rooms, if literally, but it's a place of transformation, of exploration. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm exploring it. And this is the way I see that this space is going to be like for me, is really highlighting people, even if I have to step back, because it's time to pay it forward.
Yeah. In our next segment, we're going to take a closer look at the live stream project of Jake Macapagal.
Oh yeah.
How, and I'm very curious to find out what made you decide to do that, and at the same token, every day you have to fill that slot with interesting personalities and talk to them and really
Yeah.
make
Oh yeah. I'd love to share that with
get
you guys.
into their minds and their what they're thinking about, what they're all about. And I know it's a challenge, but you're blossoming, my friend. You seem to be so energized by it also.
Oh my goodness. You won't even believe it.
Friends, don't go away. We're gonna get to know and get up close and cozy with Jake when we return after these reminders. So back.
Hang in there.
We'll be back shortly with Tita Gracie. Let's chat with Tita Gracie, only here on V81 Radio. Are you ready to explore a new kind of music? Yung bang kakaiba na hindi mo pa napapakinggan? Mga bagong artist. Nagugulat sa inyo sa kanilang awit at tugtugan. Discover them, hear them in Napalm Hour. Ang Napalm ay ang new all-Pinoy alternative music source na para sa kakaibang musika. Alternative artists and bands all the time. Catch them at Napalm Hour. Mondays through Fridays, 12 noon to 1 p.m. and 8 to 9 p.m. Streaming live on V81 Radio mobile app. Kaya i-download mo na for free. Now na! A spirit-filled song that talks about healing from the Lord Jesus Christ, our great healer.
Nasasaktan, kumikirot ang aking puso.
Hilumin mo, awit ng kagalingan at pagsamba by Felsen.
Hilumin mo ang sukat ng aking puso.
Digitally available everywhere and here on V81 Radio.
Ikot paturo ko dahil lang ngayon at ang bukas.
Now back to Let's Chat with Tita Gracie, only here on V81 Radio.
Okay, and we're back. And tonight we are having an intimate chat with Jake Macapagal, who is one of the most exciting people right now on the Facebook live stream arena. So I'd like to call him back on stage and we'll continue our discussion about
Yeah.
his show In Between Rooms. So, Jake, I know that this project of yours has been making you wake up with a bright spring in your step and new energy, and I think that you are you're blooming, my friend. This has opened up new avenue of joy into your life.
It's funny. So right after March, I realized, I said, I've been watching a lot, observing a lot of people online in their news feed, no, and I see that Filipinos have always helped themselves with songs, with choirs. So there's this surge of like concerts and benefit concerts, and I said, and I watch everybody, and also people from the West on Broadway. People are just singing and blah blah blah. Gal Gadot had something online. She, gathered. This was the influence. Gal Gadot gathered her friends to sing "Imagine." Diba? They imagine. So they spliced all the songs to create. So they, most of her friends sing the song one by one.
Yeah.
It's spliced. I said, "Oh, you know what? If I want to hear somebody sing, I don't want anybody to sing over a karaoke." I
Yeah.
said, what I would like to see, I want to see if the person can sing live, like like the person is singing live to me. And he said, "How am I going to do that?" Self tape. I said, self tape a cappella with no music. So that's in my mind. I said, I'm going to think of, this is what I like. I want, when I see a performance, I want a self-taped a cappella song, and then include the accompaniment later on to follow the singer. So it doesn't feel like the singer is singing over a karaoke, because, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, alam naman nating lahat kung gaano kagagaling ang mga Pilipino sa
Yes,
kanta.
yes, that's
So
true.
we can in the corner of your homes, or in your barangay, there's always somebody there who can sing a lot. But that's why I'm picking 14 of my friends. I thought of calling 14 of my friends to self-tape in a cappella with my favorite OPM songs. I was just toying with the idea of a juice project. I call it the Pinoy Juice Project, as part of a segment in my show, The In Between Rooms. Because I said, parang a lot of people are singing online. I saw Noel Rayo singing all the songs that they did. Oh, I
Yeah.
said, but I just don't want to just sing a cappella. I want them to look good. I want them to have a sound engineer. So I asked my friend who can play the piano. I said, I have a little budget. Can I pay for you? And then he said, "No, I'm gonna do this for free." I said, "What?" I said, "Okay." I mean, so he agreed. John Florencio agreed. He's from France, from France, and he said, "I can surely provide the instrumentation." And all of a sudden, Pinoy Juice Project was born, and everybody, 14 of my songs, sang songs. And like, for example, we were picking songs like "Yakapin Mo Ako," which is Trisha Ampere Jimenez, who was experiencing death and loss of her father. And I said, the songs will become different. The lyrics will become different because of what everybody is experiencing. Meaning, you can go back to this project 10 years from now, 5 years from now, and it captured a specific experience in our lifetime when we were in a lockdown. So the lyrics of the songs, of the Filipino songs, were different. It,
Wow.
it became alive. When Trisha sang, Minsan pa, yakapin mo ako, it's a longing of, like somebody has already, passing on. Once it's a cry of, or a yearn that, please, one more time, hug me. And all the songs that we picked, the 14 songs, are just so beautiful that it became my trajectory as well to really push myself to have a talk show on my page, the In Between Rooms, because I have an episode, I have a project, I have guests that I want to highlight. We can talk about the project with the people that I work with and include everybody. So I said, there's so much content. I'm not going to be bored for about a year. That's why In Between Rooms became like my thing. I said, I can do a talk show every single day and follow. Every time I talk in front of the camera, I remember how Eddie Mercado was speaking straight to the camera in the
Yeah.
letter. I remember Uncle Bob when I was younger and I was part of I was getting into the studio and I saw the camera and I said, wow, what is that? I
Yeah.
remember Ariel Ureta when he was the host
Yeah.
before, when he was younger, and
Yes.
he ends the show looking at the camera and saying, "Good night, everybody," and he says something that's very inspirational. And he said, "Is he talking to me?"
Yes.
I remember that. I remember Nestor Torre and Elvira Manahan having a conversation, having a laugh, and talking
Yeah.
about real life and having a conversation and listening to each other without promotion, huh? They're not
No.
promoting anything. They're just talking about how the week had gone. I remember Eddie Alarde when Tina Revilla, and I
Yes.
thought there's so much I admire these people and I said, I can do the same thing.
Right.
Just had to get over myself.
And so you've got like a whole bunch of great broadcasters as inspiration. When you looked up to them and you were enamored by this whole idea of these people are like talking to me and like I'm you're getting converted into being an actor and wanting to communicate your insights, your thoughts. And I think the talk show format is perfect for that, because I think we're living parallel lives here because I also grew up with those influences. I went into com art school and I took up broadcasting and all the necessary media related jobs as a communicator, media related subjects as to become a communicator. And I remember when I was in college, I had a special project because everyone in my class, with the exception of Audie, because Audie Omora and I were classmates in LaSalle, I was very comfortable in front of a camera, and of course, Audie was already doing Amadeus for Repertory Philippines by the time we were in junior college. So I was comfortable, but I did not think of having a career in front of the camera. I always thought of myself in advertising or in marketing, but I remember that particular project and looking back after 40 some years I'm here doing this and I'm telling myself indeed things have come around, and it's the same thing with you grew up with all these influencers and you became an actor, you went all over the planet doing your stuff, and now with this pandemic it just sort of like the formula suddenly makes sense. All of a sudden for you it's like the formula suddenly makes sense and I can do this thing. And you did, and you took that leap of faith, you took a boot camp, you got the show together, and you know what, hey, hats off to you, my friend, because you know what, as far as I'm concerned, you're one of the more exciting people who are, because you see, there's so many people now doing this, doing webinars and training and just talking in front of a camera, but it's so difficult, to listen to them for more than a few minutes because it's like very tedious. But you make it
Yeah.
so Yes.
Thank
We
you,
will
thank you
talk.
very much. I appreciate what you're saying. I think, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give this is not a secret. My fear was bigger than my want or my skill or my will. The fear was bigger. But I said, if I were to have, if I were to die, I think very, 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 very simple. If I were to die because of COVID, I want to do what I really love most. And I love the camera. I like looking straight at the camera. I like communicating and listening to people. And for the first time, I actually, taking each skin out of me, and I said, "This is authentic." I can't when I'm every person who really really know me, who's very very close to me. You can ask Monique, you can ask Lynn Sherman. What you see there is how I really am. I don't show that to everybody, but now, hey, this is what it is. I mean, I think people are looking for authenticity, and for the
Yes.
first time after 50 freaking years, 54 years old, I think, freaking naman. I realized that it's not. Just so nice to be comfortable, just saying, "This is who I am. This is what I've been, and this is where I'm going." I finally. It took a long time to say that.
Yeah, yeah. And
I don't know
I'm
if that
very
makes
happy
sense,
for you.
but for
Yeah,
me, yeah, but I think most of all, I think it's really putting the gear on to just really be authentic and accept all your your flaws as well.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I think
I know what you're feeling, and that's so true. My first few episodes, like I would watch myself after each show, right? Because immediately after our episode, this particular show will be up on YouTube and on Facebook, and you can watch it every day if you want to. It's gonna be there for forever, because that's how all the episodes are available and accessible online. So
yeah,
I watch myself and I would beat up myself. I should talk this way. I should be
yeah,
less.
no, no,
And
no,
there's so many mistakes that I was doing. But eventually I told myself, you know what? If I were, my show is about chatting. Like, it's like I want people to feel like they're across from me. We're in a table or having coffee. And it's like you chatting with me in a bar. And that's how I am. And in the
eh,
same token, that's what you
yeah.
discover about your style of managing a talk show.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I remember what do remember from you, Gracie, is that every time we saw each other in a bar during that time was this warm personality and then this conversation that is authentic. So there's nothing else to do but put that forward because you already have it. So you don't need to create this persona or this because once you do that, you like people will feel that too. So I think that's the secret, and it's not a secret. You need to be
True.
yourself, and it's
Yeah,
great
it's
that
your
you actually
authenticity.
you break down those barriers or those constructs of how a moderator or how a host was in the past, because now
Yeah,
you're like, no, the new
yeah.
thing. You have to be yourself, or else people will
Exactly.
smell it, or people will get bored.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's now, if we're in the comfort of our homes. We're broadcasting in my I'm broadcasting from my living room, and you're in your living room. So it's like it's like you're getting them. It's like every week I have a guest in my home, and we're that's how it feels like. You're a guest in my home, and we're talking and catching up and all that.
I'll
And
tell you, this medium is so powerful now, and I'm
yeah,
just really, and I'm sure you can attest to this. I'm actually falling in love with the camera. I
yeah,
don't know if that makes sense to you. I'm falling in love
yeah,
with if my setup now, meaning that I love that when I'm looking straight at the lens, I know that I'm transmitting the energy, and I know you're listening. It's like talking to a friend. It's very
yeah.
strange. It's very
It
strange, but
is.
this medium is so powerful.
Yeah, that's true. This it is very powerful, and at the same token, you become so. Then the affinity, it becomes part of you when you start talking. It's like you're no longer looking for, immediate. Like when you see people, but even like our friend Jamie Wilson, he has another unique style, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just sit there and it's a monologue,
yeah,
and you both have very unique, very attractive styles of hosting, and
yeah,
you make everybody feel so relaxed. I see the range of people in your show. You
yeah.
know, you have actors or people from theater from all parts of, and then
All
you
parts. So,
have
but
this
I,
actor.
I really I really want to be inclusive this time. I don't want to be picking like A-listers or like showbiz personality. We already have that with other people, and I really want to really just highlight people that I really know, and I know I always find gold nuggets with every single person that I meet, whether you're at a wholesaler or a longanisa seller, because I know I picked up something. I'm going to bring that conversation and publish it. You'll be surprised though. There's also really good friends of mine who really don't like, something that's why are we. Yeah, I've been told too by a friend that don't. Why are we doing this publicly? We shouldn't do this. But I respect that. I
Yeah,
respect that. I respect
yeah,
that too. um, I know that this is not a business for me yet. This is not monetized for me. This is an expression, and I think I've told you in the beginning that this is really a very therapeutic thing for me to do. You know, I'm
yeah. And
connecting
there's a
with
term for it, and
people.
I think it's called passion project. It's like a
Yeah,
because for me this is more a passion project. All my life I've been wanting to do something like this, to host on radio, and initially my idea was, since I'm already 60 years old and it's no secret. um,
bravo.
but I'm embracing my senior years, and having hurdled some health challenges also in the past few years. I wanted to repackage myself, but at the same time make myself accessible, and to talk to people, and not so much to influence but to find out more, be part of a world out there that's growing. And I think this pandemic allowed me to explore the internet and live streaming, because like yourself, there's this need that I want to communicate and be part of something bigger than myself. I don't want to be holed up here and be isolated, because certainly with this medium, I'm not isolated. I can reach out to people. But more than that is to bring out interesting people, meet up with friends, meet up with interesting people like yourself. And hopefully, as we do our chat, bring out the best in you, so that my audience will know who you are and will appreciate you and your show, and for all my guests, because it's a community. We have to be. It's great that we're lifting up each other in this way. It's so positive, and
Yeah.
and spreading the love in a different way, right?
It is true. Building, I think for me, it's good. I think we both agree that building this community is also beneficial to our health,
For sure.
mentally and physically. So it helps us more than we think. It helps us more because I feel that reaching out and cheering on somebody or giving positive feedback to people is very positive. Is very relatable in this new medium, no? And this is
Yes.
how it's gonna be for some time.
Yeah, like they say, this is normal. And in fact, I had a guest who said it's more than just the new normal, because we're all. This is the new lifestyle.
It is. It
It is.
is.
It's the new lifestyle. It's not just the normal. It's a lifestyle that we are now. We're all early adapters, or we've already adapted into it, and it's now part and parcel of our lives. And we really have to embrace it. For some, they will be there passively watching. But for others, like yourself and our friends in the artistic community or the arts and culture community, will really it's a medium of expression because live events are not happening at the moment, not until probably mid to late next year. But this is offering us that chance to express, which I feel is so important right now. And there are people out there who are interested in what we have to say. For bashers.
Don't
But
take me seriously.
I don't. I don't. But I think what's important is that now you have found this particular passion project,
Yeah.
I think that for others maybe the future is uncertain, but I
Yeah.
think for you have found something that will at least give you something to wake up to every morning, and the uncertainty recedes. But what's more important now is that you've got something on a day-to-day basis, and we only live life one day at a time. And like you
Yeah.
said, if you wake up every day, hey, why not, right?
Yeah, yeah. I told you that. I wake up in the morning and say, it's showtime, folks. Really, it really makes me jump out of my bed. And for the first time in my life, I'm not taking myself too seriously now because I'm really enjoying it. It's undeniable. I can't believe how how I'm enjoying it. But let me give you a secret. My nighttime is really my winding down. My energy in the morning is different. Although, again, because it's a chat show, even if it's nighttime and I'm talking to you, I'm really enjoying it because I'm in
Thank
front of the camera.
I share your enthusiasm, Jake, and then I truly appreciate this spending this past hour with you. It's an hour and a half. We're down to it's 7:18. The show ends at 7:30. It feels like time went by so quickly, but I think that what's important here is that you seem to be so happy in your own skin right now. You're happy with this, and that's important. Finding that joy is important, and it shines. It's so palpable, and I'm so happy for you, Jake. This
It-
is,
it's good to note.
it's fine.
It is. It is good to note to people who are listening in the program of Tita Gracie that these things are available with us now. I think if you really want to jump into to vlogging or to express yourself and reach out to your family, maybe you can't really do it because you live in close quarters. Sometimes communicate with a self tape saying, "Harry, I love you, mommy." Sometimes it's so surprising that sometimes if it's recorded, if it's a social media kind of thing where it gets us a little bit more connected, and um it's free for everybody, right? I mean, we don't need
Yes.
to our studio system was broken down,
Yeah.
in the country,
Exactly.
but now we can be our own producers and create our own
Right.
shows.
Right.
That's
Yes.
exciting, right?
It is very exciting. Everyone with a camera or a mobile phone can do a podcast or a vlog or a
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
The software is easy. It's not rocket science to do it yourself. I know that you do it yourself. I mean, you joined the boot camp. Many people don't even bother joining a boot camp. I
No,
rely on the team, but I eventually found out that the software it's not a sophisticated thing. It's
no.
to get into it.
It's part of the technical confidence that you can get when you go to a boot camp because
Yeah.
a lot of the softwares that are developed now and are developing are very friendly, meaning you
Yes.
can actually produce your own all the things that you see in the screen with Tita Gracie's screen with an overlay with the font that's been
Yes.
designed. It's creative.
Yes.
You see, there's a whole community that built this for her. But softwares now, especially for the
Yeah.
kids, they can just come in and do that themselves. It's very easy.
Absolutely.
If I did it, you can't do it.
And then what's important here is that we bring each of us, we each bring into the table, on the table, a unique aspect of ourselves. And
Yeah,
that is, I think, what will enable us to level up to a point that an audience will actually tune in, and
correct, correct.
we would be capturing their interest and really following you, and creating that brand, because like it or not, we now have a brand like Tita Gracie, and that's my brand, and you've
Right,
got your own brand, and there's some marketing that has to get into that if you want to
correct.
on the long haul. But I don't want to sound like it's work, because to me, like you said, it's a passion project, and I think that's what that energy that we infuse into this will now enable us to take it a step further and get more creative, and bring more to the show than just two heads talking, but also knowing that there are thousands or hundreds of people out there tuning in, and we've got to say something or present something that will be of interest or of value to them.
Correct, correct, right. I know it's just boundless possibilities for everybody when you think about that, right? Really,
Yes,
so
it's true.
it's great.
And
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 and for you were saying?
go ahead. You were
Oh,
saying.
sorry. Yeah, it's just great. And also for people who are tuned in from America. By the way, I still have a film that's going on video on demand and on
Oh,
Amazon
okay.
Prime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please invite friends. What
yeah.
are those movies that they can access on demand?
I have a film with Alessandra De Rossi and Art Acuna. It's called Watch List. It won at the Ramdam Film Festival for the strangest film of the year. But it's on video on demand, meaning that you can, go to your favorite theater. They'll send you the link, and then they'll give the password, and you can watch it in the convenience of your homes. And then it's on Amazon Prime, so it's available there too.
And then also, I think people can still watch Metro Manila, right? For those people that have not seen it.
Yeah, well, that's always going to
Yeah,
be on iTunes, and, yeah, and Apple and on Netflix in Asia. So, but that's available on Blu-ray. So if you haven't seen it, it's a great film amazing film by British director Sean Ellis.
So friends, remember, so that's Metro Manila, available on Netflix and also on Amazon Prime.
No, not Amazon Prime. Watch List is on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It's available on Blu-ray and
No.
to order. Yeah.
Yes. So, Jake, would you believe we're in the last 5 minutes? Especially when you're having fun. And, I want to spend the last 5 minutes really just, expressing my appreciation for, you know, giving me, giving us the opportunity to get to know you more, and spending your valuable Sunday night with us, sharing with my audience who you are, what you're all about, your personal journey. And also, I would like to invite everyone out there to try to catch Jake Macapagal's show. Uh, Please invite them. Where do
Yeah.
they?
So I'm on my business page. It's Jake Macapagal or Jake. I don't know. It's Jake Macapagal. If you search on it, you will see a JM logo. If you find the JM logo, which is my initial, you're on the right channel. I go live 11:30 a.m. Manila time, so that's 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time from the West Coast.
Yeah.
So come and watch, or if you don't want to catch it live, you can always tune in and do watch replays. It's called In
Okay.
Between Rooms with me.
Yes. Oh, remember that, mga kaibigan. The show is called In Between Rooms with
With
our
Jake.
Jake Macapagal, and every day from Monday to Friday, Manila time, it's at 11 or at 11
30.
p.m.
Yeah.
11:30 Every day
lunch
from
date.
Monday to Friday. Your lunch date, right? Grab a sandwich or a juice or something and or a salad and sit down and enjoy his guests. And could you share with us who's coming up this week?
Okay, well, I'm tomorrow I will have Lynn Lichty. She is an American singer and she had sang with the Scorpions, the rock group, and has toured the Europe for a long time, doing amazing work in Europe. And I'm just sharing this because I know her personally, and if we're gonna give you like a clip of her performances, you will be floored. That's tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Manila time.
Wow, fantastic. Jake, maraming salamat. I truly am so that you joined. Let's chat with Tita Gracie tonight. I know that in the coming days, more people will be tuning into your show, and I wish you more power, more blessings, and more energy, more positive energy, because you share so much of that in your show, and there's so much that can be, that people can learn and can enjoy, and you make great lunch company.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very honored. The title live streamer is still daunting for me, but all of a sudden when I saw when I saw the commercial or the ad for the chat, I
And
said, "Wow, live streamer host. That looks legit."
yes,
But
you are.
thank you. I'm very honored. Thank you very much for this lovely,
Yes,
lovely time.
yes, the pleasure and honor is mine, Jake, and I'm sure let's find some time when this pandemic is over or one of these days to meet up, have coffee or something, and
A
catch
real
up.
chat, yes,
A
for
real
sure.
chat. So once again, mga kaibigan, Jake Macapagal, an actor, a good friend, a very talented person, and he's gracing the live stream sphere with his unique blend of artistry, his personality, and his charm every day from Monday to Friday. So look for him and follow him and like his page because I'm telling you, people, the first time I saw him on stage, well, I became an instant fan. And that you will become a fan of his also. So, Jake, maraming salamat. Thank you. See you again, my friend. God bless you. And
Thank
for all the friends out there, all my audience out there, once again, ito po si Tita Gracie, nagpapasalamat sa inyong lahat. As we face the coming week, please continue to be careful, still following the protocols because our COVID-19 enemy is still out there. And let's make sure that we are mindful every day when we go out to work or to the grocery. Let's be mindful. Let's make sure that we follow all the protocols. Let's not get our relaxed or let our guard down because every life is valuable. I want everybody there to stay healthy and to be happy. And remember, God is just a prayer away. He will never leave us nor forsake us. So remember that. So this has been your host, Tita Gracie. I'll see you again on Sunday with another exciting chat. I'll see you then. Thank you and have a good evening.
Leading personalities, representative insights, relevant current issues all together in a meaningful and delightful conversations as your social barometer. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Sundays, 6 p.m. Hosted by breakthrough millennial boomer Gracie Venezuela. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Only here on V81 Radio. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy, your all hits, all Pinoy digital radio station in South Manila. This is V81 Radio.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. naman ito'y mapapakinggan. Oh,
PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio.
ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko.
PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio.
Dahil mahal namin kayo.
PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio.
Para sa inyo ito, PA1 Radio.